What's up, iZombie fans? Coming up on the episode, Blaine still confused, Lucky Lou and Lucky You, and major problems coming up next.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yeah.
Nobody? I was going to start to get really into it. So
that would have been fine.
Go for it.
I'm going to download this full version for my
it's
rides
great.
to the studio.
Right?
I actually didn't realize what the whole song sounded like.
Let's keep it going a
You're
little
just
bit
used
underneath.
to the intro,
the little chunk.
the show intro. Jared, we're all here tonight.
I
We
know.
are all here.
Welcome, everyone. Season 2, Episode 17, Reflections of the Way Liv Used to Be. And we got the band back together tonight.
We did.
Original lineup.
How long's it been? You know, it's been like maybe a few
We've
months.
been trading spots,
We have.
and together we finally joined forces.
Yeah, we did.
It's great.
Because it's going to be a powerful ending to this show. So, and they tease the 2-hour finale next week, and we'll get to that. But wow, how many storylines tonight?
I'm
Crazy.
so excited.
I am too.
Yeah,
It's going to be great.
And the fans were pumped up tonight too. I know that. That's all we saw. Our Twitter feeds were just full of all the mentions, all the iZombie mentions, and we're like, oh, we're in the middle of the episode, because they're a little ahead sometimes.
Do you want me to do this right now?
Oh
Let's
my God.
do it.
Let's do it.
Always,
We have
every
to.
week, Hannah, our resident social media advisor.
Okay.
How did it look this week?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Twitterville had a lot.
Twitterville.
It did. I think it should actually be Tweeterville.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Tweeter.
I feel ya.
It makes me think of Varsity Blues, but
Yeah.
anyways,
he
that's
drinks
fine.
beer.
Tweeterville. But we had Christopher Now Walken, Sandwich of Destiny, The Storm Within, Mr. Style 90, Tom Valentine John, Dustin Bradley, Florina Ray Dew, Brandy Bachelor, Kimmy Lizzie, and D Murph actually hit us up finally again. God.
Yeah. You
Biggest
guys got
fan.
me stoked. I was like, what is to come tonight? I don't know.
And then on the tube we had Wicked Bob, Jorge Avila, Serena Bella, Holy Camp,
I like
and
that.
also Holy Camp, or Holly Camp, sorry, whatever it is.
Holy.
But I think I actually like Holy Camp, so maybe you should take one out.
That could be a little misleading.
Yeah, it could actually.
Holy Camp.
But I would also like to know where has her brother been, which maybe we can talk about later.
Yeah,
But I
and
would like to
Mommy.
know that as well. We also had Aisling O'Brien, however you say that, I don't know, and J-Boy. Thanks, everybody.
J-Boy.
Thank you guys.
And I loved, everybody really sent in their stripper names. And I wish I would have written them all down, but I didn't, so I did fail on that, so sorry.
And then I know you were missing last week.
Yeah.
What was your stripper name again?
Oh gosh, I didn't have
Oh,
one.
Or your
it's-
porn
well,
star name, whatever.
We'll get
what
into
did
you.
Did you give me one?
No. It's a formula. It's your first pet, the
Okay.
name of your first pet, and the street you grew up on.
Foxy Elmer.
Hey,
Foxy
she's got a
Elmer.
good one.
Yeah.
Foxy Elmer. Oh.
I like that.
Just for fun, let's
You
run
know
through
what,
them
that
again.
one
Wait,
starts
what were
off
yours? I need to
sexy, and
know.
then it kind of falls off a bit.
Exactly. Like the
like a
Elmer
farmer.
is kind of like
Glue.
ooh,
Elmer.
Like a hot farmer.
I guess.
I like
Foxy
it.
Elmer. Okay, what was yours, Hannah?
Mine was Wendy Sheffield.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Wendy
very standard.
Sheffield.
Like she's been in the
Wendy
biz for a
Sheffield.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, right.
That-
I
that
feel like
kinda
I should have a trench coat on, like
And like a long
Exactly.
cigarette holder, like Wendy Sheffield.
exactly. I feel like
not
it's
watching
more of
that.
like a Carmen San Diego type of name than like anything else.
Like a sassy lady.
She had the
Okay.
ultimate though. Blake had the
Oh,
ultimate.
yeah. It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Okay.
Mine was Princess Hana Vistamar.
Oh, psh,
Yeah.
done.
Thank you. Although I think mine sounds more like a drag queen.
It does. It does.
Like
Yeah.
I'd be like, "What's up, RuPaul? I'm
what
gonna
was
drag
it?
race this season."
What was
Princess
yours again,
Hana.
Sharon?
Garfield Brock.
Garfield Brock.
Legend.
be
in
booking
It sounds like a
Yes.
porn name. I think so.
I think it sounds like a bodybuilder name, like a lot of orange spray tan.
I need it.
Yeah.
Much like Major needs a little spray tan now
yeah.
coming around. But before we dive in, I want to remind any new listeners or any new ones, hit us up on iTunes and SoundCloud, rate us, give us comments, let us know what you like about our porn/stripper names. Give us your porn/stripper name on the comments
do.
section. Give us some great ratings because we know we have the best fans in all of
We do.
AfterBuzz.
We really do.
I mean, we have such a good rapport with them. It's like a daily routine. It's like, okay, I got to check in, see what's going on in the iZombie world. So thank you, everyone, for doing that during the week. And also, let's get around here because it's been a while since all four of us have been together.
are we?
Where can
We're
everyone
like
find
strangers
you on
with each
social
other.
media?
I don't know who
Yes,
I
thank
am.
you so much.
Yes. If you guys want to hit me up, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at dmurph625.
And yeah, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at the Hotshot Dude.
And I'm Blake V, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media.
And I'm Jared Gilkerson. That's at Gilkerson Radio on Twitter. Thanks, Steven. Just in time. Always. I knew he was ready for something. I knew he was setting me up. He would have been a great college radio host. And that's kind of where we start off in this. And that's where we start off for this episode. Kind of a weird place to start off. Like it was just a college radio station. And
Okay.
there was no murder.
Sorry, I
No,
had,
no,
I had a
nothing. Go
comment.
for it.
I was getting right into it.
Hey.
I just wanted to say, I've listened to many college radio stations
Yes.
in my time, and they've been like fun and I don't know, like independent music and good commentary. I don't know. This one was so boring.
So serious.
And I'm not even saying politics because that can be spicy, but this was like boring.
That can be spicy.
Just saying. That was my comment, Jared. Please
Probably
continue.
I wasn't even paying attention to what their radio show was. I was more confused at what was happening. I was like, who are these people? Are these new characters? Is somebody going to die?
Yeah. We learned that it's
That's
that was Bailey and who's our boy there,
Brody.
Bailey and Brody. Here come the bees.
Yeah.
We have our end of the show wrap up is going to be a battle now because it's just going to be like, what are you going to say instead of Buzzy later? That's all I can think of right now. Like Brody, Bailey, there's all
Our
kinds of stuff.
ever-changing catchphrases.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this kind of a setup that there's a little political rivalry going on, but we're reintroduced to the frat boys.
Yeah.
So that was kind of fun. Like it took us a minute. Like, are those the same dudes? 'Cause we
Yeah,
weren't
I
sure.
couldn't quite
Totally
place
took a
them.
minute.
Yeah. So we know we're gonna see more of them later, but nothing happens.
Yeah, and I
So
like
they
Brody,
just-
man.
yeah.
He's funny.
He's funny,
Keep
sweet
him
guy.
around.
Well, I wouldn't say he's a sweet guy.
Not sweet.
I'd say he's a little jerky,
Fun
a
to
little
hang out with.
sexist.
He's
Yeah.
well-intentioned.
Well, I wouldn't
Hannah
even say
likes
that.
Brody.
Okay.
I like Brody. He does some D&Ms, deep and meaningfuls, and I'm all about that.
But the,
I mean, that was very deep.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
that
gonna
was-
start like
that was
texting my friends when I want to hang out and be like, "Can we have a D&M tonight?"
Yeah.
I
They'll
really
be like,
just
That
want.
must be the new
Excuse me, Hannah.
Yeah, I
that's,
know.
That's taking it a little
D&M.
far.
I know it's gonna make it sound like it's something
there's
sexual.
gonna
Can
be
I have a
dir-
D&M
yeah,
tonight?
everyone's gonna find the dirty versions of that right now.
Right?
So come on,
Yes.
please don't do that.
I will. I do get this vibe from Brody too. Is that he strikes me as perhaps not the most intelligent.
Oh no, not at all.
C plus history. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Like-
Flying colors. And he did say one thing that I was like, really? You would say that? And that was when Babs came and was questioning him about the SATs. And he goes, but are multiple choice tests in your jurisdiction? I'm like, dude, you would say that? Really?
You would say that?
It's
Really?
Brony, bro.
Guess so.
Brody.
Yeah.
Listen, that's the thing about frat dudes. They gotta mask their, level of intelligence with
He just,
big
like, pulled
words.
that one out of
you
his
know what
back
I mean? You
pocket.
gotta like kind of mask it a little bit. Like we talk this stuff.
Good.
That's a pretty good spot on.
Yeah, that's
Brody.
real good.
Yeah.
We talk this.
Yeah. That's why we have
Where'd
Hannah
Hannah
here
go?
for the,
Brody's on the panel now.
Yes. Brody brains.
We jumped quickly into what we all wanted to know last week, where they left us off with Ravi and Major, and that's the big scene and that was wrapped up quite neatly.
Yeah.
Like just, hey, he's got the little blonde streak going because he's back. It's the hot blonde streak. And he pretty much says, hey, Vaughn said he'd kill everybody and blah, blah, blah. And this is why I did it. And he was, Ravi was very quickly just like, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I love you, Major, so
Right?
I'm in.
Yeah.
I really thought it was gonna be this whole new like storyline.
You thought it was
of-
going to be a D&M.
Yeah, I was like, dude.
I'm
well,
looking up something
that,
here.
and I thought that Major was gonna be like frozen or not frozen, but out for a hot minute.
Right,
And like
something.
exactly, and then they weren't gonna get to talk to Major about things, and information was gonna be missing, and then all of a sudden they just jumped to, and Major's like, "This is what was going on," da 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 da, and they're like, "Great, great, great, great."
Cool.
And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, that's actually probably a better way of going about it. Let's move on."
It was exactly what it was.
And
Very
Robbie's
quick.
just like so unfazed. He's like, done.
Right.
He's like, I can help you with that.
Yes.
Well, good thing
Kind
is
of.
and he's experienced with Liv, so Major's like, I'm hungry, zombie hungry. And then he's like, I got
like,
you. We'll
got
go
you,
down to the
bro.
mark. Got you.
Yeah. So it was put a bow on that because they're back to being pals within 5 minutes.
That's
so that's
beautiful.
good. So it's good to see Major didn't go all zombie on Ravi. It just didn't happen. You know, he was tranquilized. Everything was settled. It was very sporadic opening because then all of a sudden we see Liv just running into Boss's office and beats the hell out of that guy, one of the thugs.
That was so good.
I loved
But then that was it. So it was like college radio. Everything's good with Ravi and Major. She's kicking the hell out of people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like very much jump cut. Like it was very
yeah.
quick, and we didn't know at all what was going on in the beginning.
I felt like it was just quick setups to get to the point to like steamroll through these last two episodes, huge episodes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
the
they
short
kind of had to
intro.
like,
Yeah.
they had
Yeah.
to like get through that stuff to get to the
So much
exciting
stuff still.
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my God, 2 hours worth of stuff.
I'm
ready.
So
I'm so ready.
excited.
I want it to be tomorrow.
I know.
Me too.
You gotta wait a week.
I know.
Number one fan.
That's right.
It's
coming out.
hardest for D Murph.
Yeah.
That it is. She'll be tweeting us all week.
I know.
I hope she does. Maybe we should get her to call in the show.
Absolutely, that'd be really,
Actually,
really good.
you know what? Next week we'll figure out something. We're gonna have you call in. We'll talk at the end of the show.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right,
And then you
all
may
right.
be in later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Robbie and Major have some big time Cure talk. This is the very next scene in
Yes.
in the morgue, and it's there's really no resolution there either. That's where Robbie gets the bright idea to kind of give him positive brains later on because
Right.
it's just depressing because there's no reason for Major to live.
Yeah.
No
Major's
pun intended.
a downer sometimes.
Well,
I think he's a
you might, I
realist.
think you might be if you realize
Yeah.
that you're going to die, and the only cure erases your memory.
Sure.
Yeah. So there's just a bunch of Cure talk and all that stuff. Let's get to Hannah's boyfriend because this is
You know I was already itching to talk about him.
this is a huge plot
just do
point.
it.
And I'd love to
know.
hear what everyone kind of thinks where this is kind of where they're directing this storyline because Donnie has pretty much taken over the basement brain business.
Which is huge.
Yeah.
It is huge.
Yeah,
Like-
but you knew he was trying to play. Like, at the end of last week, like you knew he got the bright idea he was going to try to play everybody, and this was his moment. I think it's going to backfire soon, but I wanted to get all of your opinions on where this is going and how long Blaine's going to be in the dark. It seems like even though you lost your memory, that you'd be still smart enough to know that. Okay, this guy is taking advantage of your memory loss. So
Yeah.
when's the dinger gonna go off?
Yeah.
The light.
That was kind of my thoughts exactly. I'm like, I think this is just like a completely temporary memory loss. I do believe him. I don't think he's faking it. So I think by next week he's gonna have that memory back.
Oh, good
for
point.
sure.
Yeah, do we believe him?
I think he's completely doing it real. Like
I
I don't
think he's doing
faking
it real too, but I don't think it's going to be a quick thing. I think that this is going to be a moment for them to move Blaine over to the good side, and I actually like Ravi and Blaine's little like conversations that they're having. Like I kind of, I'm really digging the scenes between those two. I think they jive really well off of each other.
Jive.
I do. But I think that Blaine, I felt from him and Ravi's conversation in the morgue when they were sitting in the office before Major came in, I felt that Blaine was actually starting to come around to understand that what is going on in the basement is not a good thing. And I think that he is going to start to come onto their side and he's going to become an ally for them. And hopefully within that time, him and Liv will hook up. But aside from my hopes for that, I think that they will push it far enough to where Blaine is completely on our side. Everybody enjoys him. He's this great character, a good fighter, team soldier kind of thing. And then after everybody feels that way, that's when he'll get his memory back and there will be some kind of cure. And then it will be like a struggle with the cast of characters.
And if he's not faking it, they could technically tell him anything they wanted at this point
Yeah.
to make him feel like I was such a dick. So
Yeah,
it's
they
gonna
could.
change my life around.
And was that not a touching moment when he was like, I thought the hardest part would be forgetting the people that I loved and who loved me, but I'm coming to realize that maybe nobody did.
Well, that's too bad. He did kill a lot of people.
He did.
That was really
How bad
sad.
can you really
Perfect
feel?
haircut,
I
but a lot
know.
of deaths on his resume. Yes, great haircut.
Is that what you do? You put it on your resume?
You're-
You kill someone and then you be like under.
Well, his resume would just
under
be a lot of
skills.
deaths. Like
Yeah.
you couldn't even fake that.
Don't do
You put
7
like your
deaths.
like education, and then it's like
Kill people.
killed a bunch of people.
Kill people.
Yes.
Brains,
Expert murderer.
astronauts.
Astronauts.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
and I
go ahead.
completely agree. with Hannah during the episode, Hannah just came out with it with the greatest prediction. And for once, I agree with this path for Blaine because I'm always like, no, Blaine is evil and I don't believe him and I don't see him doing anything positive in this. But with this whole memory loss thing, it would be very easy for him to just slide on over to the other team because he's you know, his brain and his feelings and everything are moldable right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Good word.
Yes. Yes, malleable.
Malleable. Yeah,
Steven?
malleable. Malleable.
Anyway, so I feel like he could be easily kind of manipulated to the other side and perhaps then and only then could I see maybe Blaine and Liv doing something.
Right, because I mean, she's really sad about Drake and everything too. So there might be like a soft moment between them.
A soft moment.
You know, a moment of weakness.
Did
for
the
her.
sorority girl know?
Yeah,
I'm not
she
sure.
does.
At the
The
college
soft moment.
radio.
Yeah.
We have so many accents.
Well,
we
let's
do
stay
here.
on the whole
So many
Blaine topic
characters.
because this is later on. But the hell with going over this whole, you know, dead body in the pool. What the hell with
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
We know
Well,
she's dead. She's dead. She's dead in the pool.
dead.
Bailey's dead.
Bye.
So Blaine and Peyton. So it keeps. There's the same rhetoric
Bye.
over and over. Yeah. Bye. Bye, Bailey.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
So now there's Blaine and Peyton, and you know, Peyton's a very attractive woman, and unless he's got some ultimate conniving plan to act like he's lost his memory, I don't think he would keep losing that opportunity.
Agreed.
She's like the lifeline, his one lifeline. So if he was faking it, what the hell's...
Okay, I have a question after your thought.
Okay, and and also it was very clear by that Peyton moment that the feelings weren't real or something that they're going to continue with at this time because even with losing his memory, he didn't feel a need for her regardless. It was just kind of like, I don't know you, maybe business. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
But he has not seen Liv yet
exactly what
without
it
his
is.
brains.
True.
Well, would you act
Sparks
that dumb
may fly.
too? If you...
Well, so
He's so... I mean, he's lost his memory, but every time he sees someone, he's like, I don't understand. They're like,
Who is this person?
you're an ass.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
kill people.
Yeah.
Get it.
Well,
it's a harsh reality to come to.
right, and Blaine, I don't know what almost happened right there. I almost went into a different accent and I stopped myself, and that was like, I didn't mean to.
Oh, I know what that...
But anyways, but Blaine did do a lot of drugs back in the day, you know, so like maybe when he goes back to his roots and doesn't have a memory, he's like real dense.
Could be.
You know what I mean?
Could be.
Flattering.
Yeah,
Flattering.
and so when Peyton came in, specifically, he was like, "Oh, I don't know," and then she's like, "Do you really not know?" or something, and he was like, "Well, I hope so," because obviously she's real good looking. But
Yes.
this is what I'm wondering. Okay, so you don't know anybody, but Jared, for example,
Yeah.
if you
I
didn't
know a few
if you
people.
didn't know anybody, let's say you didn't.
Okay.
Let's say you didn't know anybody, but like just Peyton comes walking in. She's
Sure.
just walking to you,
Okay.
and she's like, "Jared, what about us?"
I'd be like, well, I mean...
Like, would you really
I'm
be like,
let's sit down.
Yeah.
Let's figure this,
Yeah.
hash this out.
see, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Or
would you really be
a
like,
cocktail.
yeah, I don't know you, bye? Or would you be like,
Big, listen,
play along?
Listen, let's go to yoga tomorrow morning because you got business Peyton, you've got yoga Peyton,
True.
and you got all the different Peytons, which
right?
are all great.
Or like this beautiful man comes to you and is like,
Blaine.
what about us? And is like trying to talk to you like you're together. I'd probably be like, hey,
That's when like
I don't know you
what a
right now,
beautiful
but
morning
I
would
might in a
do.
minute.
Everything would go silence and you'd be like, oh, what a beautiful morning.
You've been wanting to do that.
Yeah.
So badly, you
Got
guys
it
just
done.
were running in my head.
Got it done.
You know, there's another underrated beautiful man, Ravi, and who would have predicted
know.
that he would have become like best buds now with Blaine?
I'm
He's pretty
loving
much
it.
Blaine's right hand man. And he covered for him with
interesting.
Clive.
I loved that
That's
scene.
true.
Oh no, is he?
Is he bad?
Is he?
Is that your Ravi impression? Was that with the
A little bit.
accent?
It
I
was
couldn't
close. It
tell.
was like
I
a
heard-
little bit
I
of
heard
held back.
no.
It was
I
good.
held it back a little bit because you know, like, don't play all your cards right out from me.
Right.
Okay. But yeah, so how long is this? I mean, we don't have to harp on it, but it's kind of funny
we're gonna.
that everyone's now covering.
For Blaine.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Like they would have turned him in a
And so,
long time ago, but
that
now
is-
it's screwed.
That is exactly the thought I had when Ravi was talking to Blaine in the little office and then Major came through. Wouldn't all these people take advantage of the fact that he doesn't know anything? He's like vulnerable.
I
He's
know,
just like
that's
a
what
sitting
my
duck.
thoughts were, too.
Wouldn't you just be like, "Psh,
Yes.
done,
Yeah, why not just?
gone with you, Blaine?
Nah.
And everyone's just super cool with it. They're just
Because
like,
he's the
they're
only
just like
one that
friends now.
he's the only he
You're
has
cool
so much
now,
utopium
so-
knowledge.
I would so be telling him that I was his girlfriend.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Blaine,
would.
you may not
And it would
remember
be
this,
great.
but
Why haven't you called?
But we have been
we've
together
been
for
together
a while.
forever.
A long time. You just proposed to me.
Yes.
We actually live together. Let's go home.
You're like, blame the children.
Yeah.
Miss you.
The children.
But what about the
Blame
children?
Junior.
All of the children.
Yes.
So there was one last moment with Blaine when he goes into before he sees Ravi. He goes into the police station and they're like, okay, we're gonna arrest this guy. You know, Bazio. And, yeah, she was ready to arrest him. And he says he still doesn't know anything. Clive doesn't believe him at all. Is there any chance? And what would be the motive? Is there any chance he's lying? Like what?
No.
How could this be helping him at all? Is there any storyline where you could see this helping him if he's really pulling this off? Like, is there another way to look at it?
Unless
just
he's,
like if he could completely, for some reason, want to get out of the business totally.
or if he's
But
like
I don't know
trying
why.
to get them all on his side and manipulate them.
Which he's the master of doing.
Right.
Right.
like,
But to
that's
what
all-
end? Like, what would he be trying
What
to
would
do?
be the end
Exactly.
goal?
Because if that's the case and he's watching Donnie take over his business in a poor fashion, like I don't think he would go that far to let that happen for anything. That would be going against actually what would be trying to accomplish.
And then he like put himself up for a test, which I thought was interesting because if he wasn't faking it, why would he do that?
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
That was kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's seeming to be genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I liked Donnie's band. Like I like what's going
Yeah,
on down
That was
there.
great.
What the hell's
Yeah.
going on with
I
that?
really enjoyed that.
That was very good.
Very
yes.
Weird Al, like with the just like the
Yes.
odd instruments. But I'm supporting it. Let's dive into this case really quick. I
Okay.
mean, because this case is really intricate with so many other things, and we'll try to hit every aspect of it. So she's found dead in the pool. She's dead. Bailey's dead. So they obviously suspect Brody. And there's a great reunion between Liv and Brody. And she's like, "You've changed. Why don't you go back and play beer pong with us?"
I love
And bits and bit talk, and
Touching bits.
touching bits, which is a terrible. Like, is that anyone ever really said that in any serious?
Only
tone?
Brody.
Yeah, only Brody. He's the only one who can pull it off. So they suspect him. But I mean, right off the bat, you just know he's an idiot. There's no reason. Like, you don't suspect him and his friend with the best hair.
I suspected his friend immediately. I was like, he did it.
Oh, the boy
Immediately.
band.
I was wrong.
Did you really suspect the friend?
Well, what is
Yeah.
he talking about? He's like, he came through and he's like, oh, well, two murders in the same year. It's like, come on,
Yeah.
buddy, what kind of friend are you?
Exactly.
Why is that
Exactly.
what you throw out on the table
Right?
immediately
He just
with
came
the
through
cop?
And then
Awkwardly
their
was like-
alibi was like, oh, we went for a walk that night, which
Yeah.
makes it even more sketch.
Yeah. And he was just like, oh, they're talking about Bailey, dead girl.
The dead girl.
And I was like, that's you.
You did.
You're the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what kind of friend was that?
Not a friend at all.
No friend of mine.
Not
Not a friend. And we see the foreshadowing of why the episode is named this, because she's going to eat these brains and kind of see her old, self. That doesn't seem like fun at all.
Not
Like, I was actually kind of
structured.
hoping they were going to dive into some flashbacks, like, and her being not likable.
Being regular, like pre-zombie.
Yeah. Yeah, they got to see some wok brains or Thai brains. I call it kind of wok Thai.
Those are delicious.
Those look
Like stir
really
fry.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little stir
Thai
fry.
stir
brains.
fry,
Good
That's
call.
what I wrote down.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah.
We should have that running list by next week and put it up to vote for the fans.
For the foods?
Best brain food.
Best brain food.
They
Yeah.
are increasingly getting more and more delicious, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
would
like
agree.
a highlight of the show for
Yeah.
me. The culinary treats.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I wish we could interview who makes that.
Yes, or who comes up with the ideas for the foods
Yeah.
each
Oh
time.
my God, we should get the
who
chef
cooks
on here.
them.
Who is the prop
iZombie
master
chef.
on iZombie?
Yes.
Well, maybe they'll
Call
mention
us up.
because the show does mention a lot of key players within the episode, which
Yes.
we'll go to a little later.
yes, true.
But we just totally ran over the whole D&M.
We didn't.
Like,
I talked about
we
the
hinted
DNA.
on it. Like that was the whole scene where I've never heard that term.
No.
I never have
haven't
either.
either.
I think that's an iZombie exclusive.
I think so.
I just
think
found
so,
it on
too.
Urban Dictionary.
Oh,
though.
it's a thing?
It says an emotional conversation, usually, but not always, of a melancholy nature, also known as deep and meaningful. And then here's an example for everyone. Peter and I had a DM about his troublesome relationship. So, yeah.
It's a
Using
real
the same
thing.
vein. I guarantee
When
you,
was
at
that
that.
posted? Does it say the date?
July 21st, 2004. So, 12 years ago.
How have we
just blown.
I've
never
never heard D and
I've never heard
heard
that.
of such a thing?
Yeah.
I was such a touch.
I've only heard DM, but that's in a lot of a lot of
Yes.
different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A D
Dave
and
Matthews
M.
back in the day, and it was
Direct
okay,
message.
direct
I don't
message.
know.
Yeah, later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Amazing.
our DM
Wow.
break.
Well, thank you,
So-
iZombie.
Yes.
I know.
We've all learned something new.
You know what else is very new that everyone is talking a buzz about here?
What?
Well, I keep hearing about this Containment show on CW.
So do I.
Yeah.
Tell me about it because I know nothing.
Well, it's April 19th. It's going to premiere, and their tagline, "The greatest enemy comes from within."
Ooh.
That is such a true statement. Keep going.
Well, it's very iZombie relatable though, because a lot of people have their
Yes.
own worst enemies. But it's the co-creator of The Vampire Diaries, Julie Plec. She's an Emmy award-winning director in Game of Thrones. It's kind of like this outbreak, suspenseful show.
I'm
only
stoked
seen
about
it.
this. I know like none of this.
Yeah, but
This is
here's
exciting.
Here's like the quick little synopsis for everyone. It's
Yes.
a mysterious and deadly epidemic breaks out in Atlanta. A massive urban quarantine is quickly enforced. Loved ones will be torn apart, much like zombies tear people apart, and those on both sides of the fence will be put to the ultimate test of survival. Not just fighting the disease, but fear, isolation, and the unknown. But is this virus an act of Mother Nature, terrorism, or something far more sinister? The truth will not be contained. Secrets begin to unravel, society begins to crumble, but unlikely heroes will rise. Ordinary people will defy the most extraordinary odds. Don't miss the utterly terrifying yet highly anticipated new series, Containment, a must-see limited series event premiere Tuesday, April 19th. Catch it on the CW.
I'm so excited.
Looks like I know what I'm going to be watching now that iZombie
Yes.
wraps up.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
could be, maybe there'll be like
Containment.
season 3, Containment and iZombie will be
That'd
back
be
to
cool.
back.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That would be
a good
really
lead
cool.
in. Good lead in for the show.
I'm reading a graphic novel called Black Hole right now, and it kind of reminded me of that when you're
Really?
saying that, and I'm like really, really into it. So I'm like, yeah, okay, let's do it. What? Yeah,
This is for you.
That was a weird reaction, but it was very
I'm
good.
switching out of
Like
it.
when Hannah gets excited.
Yeah. Or I got the impression like you read this real late at night,
Yeah.
and like that's what happens when you're like exhausted and tired, but you're like, I have to watch one more. I have to read
I have
one
to
more
read,
page.
I have to
and you're
read.
like the eyes are twitching, and you're like, but I gotta do it.
Yeah, it's
Go stay up.
Yeah.
I think it's time for a wings break.
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely
he's-
times for a wings break. You know, we should have that on as a shorthand for our engineers, just the theme to wings when we do talk about everything wings, because
And we'll go like this,
yeah, it's time for a wings break.
or like this.
Yeah.
Or like that.
Our boy Vaughn Du Clark,
It's gonna
Yes.
maybe one of his better episodes. Ah, lovely. Vaughn Du Clark. His daughter's in a jail in his basement. She's turned into a zombie.
She looks good.
and she
Those
looks
great
good.
blonde.
Will Vaughn let her out next week on
Never.
iZombie?
Never. That was
going
great,
to
Jared. That was
escape.
great. I
That
like
was
that.
really
Yes.
Thanks.
That was really good.
Gilda looks hotter now.
She looks great.
I mean, 9 to a
fact, she
10 kind
does.
of a thing, you know?
I
nothing-
know,
Yeah.
You know
but
what I mean?
she's like really working that white hair. I'm like,
is.
girl.
It looks real good.
Do
It
it.
does.
Big fan.
I like Wings so much. It like hurts me that he's so evil as Vaughn.
know it.
I'm just like, ugh.
He's so good. And that like
Hurts
rolling
me.
chair be like, but did you like the commercial?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it so
I did
much.
too.
I
Okay,
knew
yeah,
it.
Did you love? Okay, commercial. The Rob Thomas mention.
I love
Yeah.
that.
No
That
one
was
saw it coming.
amazing.
No one writes like Rob Thomas does.
What do we think of the commercial?
Correct.
I would drink that.
I would too. I like
I
his
would
one
too.
arm. He's like drinking and he's
Very
like,
cliffhanger.
I was hoping that I was gonna pull away and he was gonna be like standing on a box. I was like really actually kind of bummed that that wasn't happening.
Yeah, but he actually is that strong, so they're probably trying to promote that he did the actual move.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Right.
But that was
Cool.
great, and I love how
Yeah.
it was showing it to his daughter, who's pretty much dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, enjoy the commercial. Like, we're gonna
She's-
get you out of here
She's
as
dead.
soon as we do the promotions.
is.
for the
yeah, as
new
soon as we
drink.
do
Yeah.
other things.
Yeah.
She's deadpan on the other side.
Yeah.
Did you get that?
Get it?
Yes.
Get it?
I like it.
She's dead. Pen.
But I want to.
Stop.
Did you get so excited that just fell off your hand?
No, I just got so excited that I had to unroll it and picture with it because I was like,
So Gilda's in zombie jail. So this doesn't seem like it's gonna get. It could get wrapped up in season 2. I think she's gonna break out and bust out with some somehow zombie strength. It seems like she's a very fierce person
angry,
in general,
too.
and with that zombie anger, she could become one of the more stronger zombies in the show. So I think she will bust out of there. I think that would be great drama next week. What do you all think?
I think she's going to get a hold of some super max, take that, and bust out that way.
Yes.
Oh.
Like the previous test zombie that we
saw how strong it is, especially on
Super Shredder.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my
turtles.
guess.
Yeah, and I think
Supermax.
I think
How'd it go?
I think
Falling off the cliff.
Yeah, it just dead.
Now I think her and Major will date. Crickets.
So you think everyone's gonna date?
I just connected in my head. I'm so used to hearing Liv and Blaine from you that I was like, who?
Oh, so you think it's gonna be like
Who's
the
dating?
zombie couple?
Because they're both
Yeah.
zombies.
Yeah.
I
And they're
mean,
newly.
okay.
And the hair looks better on maybe both of them. I'm not sure. This is a big hair episode. Can we
It
just
is.
break
It
this
is.
news? Like the boy band hair, the zombie hair. Everyone would have like, and then the dude with the information that we learned at Steve later on.
know.
That hair. I swear he just didn't say his line for 2 seconds straight because he was just thinking about how good his hair looked.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, I'm just gonna elongate this moment.
It wasn't even red hair. It was orange.
It was orange.
I know.
Legit orange.
He had good hair.
Okay. Did he have a name?
Steve.
Steve. Did anybody think that Steve?
Is that Steve? No.
No, Steve
know
was
what
the
it
guy
was.
at the
You know what?
In the
Red
store.
coffee shop.
In my
Yeah.
notes, he's just
Or at
guy.
the whatever.
Guy. So
Yeah.
we'll call him informant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did anybody
Beautiful.
think that the informant looked like Steve?
A little bit.
yeah.
They
little
both
bit.
had like a.
Yeah.
I think Informant's gonna be back. I think he's gonna be a character we
Oh,
will
for sure.
see again.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Speaking of informant, this episode was also heavy in informants because that guy sought out Babs and was like, "Hey, I was gonna come to you, but while you're here, I'm gonna spill the beans about this." And then at the very end, the lady who worked at the pet groomers
Yep.
went to the police station and informed yet again. It was like, "Oh, I know. I know
Everyone's
who your
seeing
guy
Babs in
is."
this newspaper.
Yeah.
This campus
I'm
newspaper.
really concerned about Major.
Well, we all are. I think he's going to be okay. I think he is stronger than a rat. I think I'm going to take his word for it. So that's all.
I know, but I'm concerned about his arrest. I'm really
Oh,
concerned.
Talk about a cliffhanger.
I'm really concerned.
Do we want to jump into the arrest, or
Do you want to?
I mean, it's a huge plot point. Like
It
I would
is.
hate to harp on. We'll just
Let's do
fly,
it.
And
Let's do it.
With just a huge introduction to Lou Benedetto.
Yeah.
So, and this guy is going to play a major factor in the show. And I made some notes and predictions of what I think he's going to end up being. I think he's a
Okay.
major utopian player. I think he's hiding behind that. I think a lot of people are. I'm not breaking any new ground. But let's dive into the way this ends because I don't want to have to be short on time at the end of this
Yeah.
episode.
No,
and we
no,
can't
this is
talk
very
about
important.
it. So at the end of the episode, the biggest part, a little major trouble. So after this whole crime scene was
good.
not quite wrapped up. Remind me, so I'm going through all my stuff. So it's Major and Vaughn in the office, and
Yes, because-
they're about to go ahead.
Yeah, just because Major decided that he was going to help out Ravi. They were going to use Wings as a test subject, and
Right.
so he was
Yeah.
going to
The
scratch
talking
him.
rat.
Exactly,
Yeah.
scratch him, turn him zombie, and then
And then it was going to help Major because
Give
then
him the cure.
he won't remember about killing him and Liv.
Yeah.
So it's going to be
Yes.
great for all parties
Yeah,
involved.
and they'd see if Blaine was lying, but it's not.
that was
So-
a good tea.
Yeah.
so now, okay, so Vaughn was there in the office with
Yeah.
Major. The third informant.
Henchman.
So many of them.
So many informants.
I forget his name.
They're just like
The
running
henchman.
rampant this episode. He comes to Vaughn and says, what did he say? He said
has a
something.
He said
Storage.
he has
Storage.
he has a storage shed.
So that was about Major. Yes, he was saying this, whatever. Was that the moment? Okay, this is what I wonder. Was this the moment that Vaughn was informed of this? Because how was the squad of police there ready? Did Vaughn
Because
call them?
that wasn't-
Or was it a separate thing?
Separate.
Separate.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was because of the
Dog
other
lady.
informant.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bazio. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought.
Mid-sentence.
So
Basio.
Razio was informed
Yes.
by the dog groomer lady. But then how did they know so quickly that Blaine works for Max Rager?
Blaine doesn't.
Or maybe
I'm
Major.
sorry, Major. When Bazio was
The dog
informed about the
lady.
chaos killer by the dog lady, and they found out it was Major Lillywhite.
Yes.
Do they know
I
that
think
he
they
works
just
for
knew
Max
the
Major?
name from like Liv and all the talk.
But how'd
of
they know where to
him.
find him?
Well, they probably had someone on him for a while.
Yeah.
And, I would, because they saw him through the funeral home window, and I bet Bosio, unless we're missing some big plot point, I think Bosio has been probably tailing him, and so they probably know that he's in and out of that building all the time.
Okay.
That's my guess,
Okay.
but maybe there's something a little more obvious.
Yeah, because it didn't seem like Boz consulted with Babineau or anybody.
Yeah,
she
it
just
was
got
just,
the
like,
tip and then went for it.
information, done.
So
I bet she
must-
had already done her research on him though, and knew that he at least worked at Max Rager.
Okay.
Yeah, all she needed was that last tip, and it's like, okay, we
Yeah.
got enough to arrest this guy.
Right.
But I don't know where it's going to lead, because how much do they have to hold him on? Because the only other person that knows he's the Chaos Killer, correct me if I'm wrong, is Ravi.
Right.
And then anyone at Max Rager. Robbie's not talking.
Right.
Max Rager's not saying
Definitely
they
not
gave him
gonna
the
say
list to kill people. So they're going to hold him, and it's going to end up being he's in the clear.
Okay.
But how long is he going to be held for?
And it doesn't matter how long he's going to be held for, because from the looks of the previews, shiz goes down in that business. So whatever he ends up doing in there within the 24, 48 hours he's there, it's enough to keep him in there.
I don't think anything's gonna happen.
You know what?
You don't think so?
Let's dive into predictions.
Okay.
What is Major going to do now that he is in jail?
There's outbreak. It looks like there's going to be some serious zombie attack fights in the prison jail.
Yeah, so how's he going to hide the fact that he is killing people for brains or is he going to be able to hold out long enough?
I don't know, because I would like to think that he's not to the point of killing anybody yet, because it takes some time, doesn't it, without brains to like really lose your cool?
Yeah.
But like clearly
Yes.
something is happening there, because it showed like all the guards and policemen, or not all the guards and the inmates like battling it out. Kind of. That's what it looked like to me. Is that what it looked like
And
to
then
everybody
he's
else?
talking. I forget who visits him at the end, but he's talking to someone on the phone and saying like,
Isn't it Liv?
maybe.
Yeah, I think it is Liv.
And
it
then
is.
he's like, "Oh, how are you doing? I'm hungry. I'm hungry." So like, I don't know how far it will actually go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who was it who said zombie outbreak or whatever? Or what was it? Was it Blaine that said that?
A zombie
No.
outbreak? You talking about Lou and Babs when they first
Yeah.
mentioned
Benedetto,
zombies?
he was like,
Yeah.
I've heard it all now.
No, somebody
yeah.
in the preview was like, zombie,
Oh, in the trailer for the next
maybe
one.
they just
zombie apocalypse.
Yeah,
it
maybe
was
they-
Blaine. It was Blaine.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like,
that.
I
This
know.
is memory returning.
Because they were like, do you know what that means? And he was like, zombie apocalypse or something.
I don't think his memory's returning. I think he maybe discovers something, and then
Yeah.
he just goes and maybe he'll be an idiot and start telling people a few things. Blake, what do you think is going to happen with Major in jail?
Well, so we were left with him like starting to turn zombie,
Yeah.
but I don't think anything's gonna happen. I think it was just like a rush of just like shock
Same
and
tease as the
anxiety.
episode before.
Yes.
Like the 2 in a row of
Well, because
teasing.
that's happened. I mean, it's happened with Liv. We've seen her like start to go, but then they calm down. It's just like a rush of anxiety, I think. So I think that was just a thing to leave us all hanging. Thank you, iZombie. But I think that's not going to happen. They're probably going to arrest him and take him to jail. I mean, I don't know specifically, but I have a hunch that they're going to be able to either get brains to him or get him out. Because
Yeah.
that's what happened with Liv. Liv had to go to jail. Granted, it was only a day or two or something like that, and
True.
they got her out. But she was hurting. She was
Yeah.
hurting for some brains
Yeah,
for a
very,
while.
very.
They had to rescue her.
Yeah.
So Major, I'm sure it will be.
And I'm gonna add to
Similar
that
scenario.
too because I thought it was interesting when Benedetto or whatever his name was like
Gardettos.
busted.
No,
Oh,
no,
I don't know.
I'm kidding,
I was like,
kidding.
I thought it
What is
started
Gardettos?
with
Is
a
that like
B.
cookies?
It's those like
the biscuits.
party mix.
Yeah.
Party mix.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It is a party mix. Gardettos.
Like Chex Mix, but it's not
Yeah,
Chex.
yeah,
It's
it's like
Gardettos.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
thank you.
Gosh, what was I gonna say?
Sorry.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Okay, so yeah, when he like went in and like busted Steve, he was saying like Steve has led him to bust so many other utopium dealers. So I think maybe if these utopium dealers are in jail, if Major has some conversations with them, he can get some
nice.
information.
That could be
Oh,
smart.
great,
That could be
Deemer.
smart.
Great.
A lot smarter than my note. I
well,
made
mine
a
too.
note
That, like, mine
there's
was kinda
I know.
okay.
I feel like now. Oh God, she had. Deemer.
You just killed Jared.
You had such a
With
good.
the, with the level, you set the bar.
I have the
Oh,
worst
hey.
note. It basically says that Liv will get him out because she'll figure out a way to sneak brains into like the cook, like the jail cook. Like I just feel like a lot of times everyone just walks in and out of the morgue like, hey, what's up? So like Liv's gonna there's gonna be some case where she has to go to the jail and she'll be like, I snuck the brains and the mac and cheese.
Hey, she did go undercover. Like
She's gonna eat.
episodes ago.
She's gonna
Maybe
eat the
she'll do it
brains
again.
of an inmate or like a worker at the prison, and then she's gonna like know the path and the routine and the codes and stuff. So she'll like
She's just
bring in the
gonna kill an
brains.
innocent worker
No,
at the prison?
like it's probably gonna die. That's probably gonna be next week's case. They're gonna bring in the guard, and
Timely.
then she's gonna like eat it and be like, oh, let me get the brains to Major. She'll like put on the outfit and like go through and like open the
Yes.
gates, have the keys.
that
Or
would be
maybe
fun.
she'll send him like a package and somehow they're like splattered. Like
Can you send food
liquid form.
to inmates?
no, I was just
Anna, do
like
you have
brain
experience with
sauce.
sending food to inmates?
No.
She explodes dynamite, the roof gets a crack in it, and then she seeps liquid brains down through the ceiling. And Major goes,
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
You nailed it.
we got it.
Yes.
D. Murph and I are figuring
on
this
it.
out.
Yeah, either one of those is a viable option for Major getting out of jail. I wanted to go back to someone who's in charge of putting people in jail, Lou Benedetto, because this is a gigantic it's the first time when he was talking to Babs and Liv at one point. It's the first time that any of the cops in Seattle have mentioned zombies. First time. Babs is the first zombie mention from the police ever.
Yes,
Good
right.
observation. Yeah.
Ever.
And where we left off last week, what was Babs' level of knowledge with the zombies? Like, I remember that we found that the brain results came back. Boz called the
the guy from his
yes, who did the test, who performed the test to figure out what
yes,
type of
that's
brains it was.
right.
And because the results had been changed for them to think it was cow brains, they found out no, it was
Bovine.
humans.
Human
It was not
brains.
bovine. Yes, the guy was like, oh, it's human brains again. They were like, again?
What?
What?
And I think
So are they just highly suspicious at this point, maybe, that something is going on? Because they don't know, right? Babs
felt-
doesn't know.
I felt like
Suspicious.
Benedetto is not suspicious, or however you say his name. I think he was like, that's ridiculous. But Babs' response
mix.
seemed to me that he may actually know more than he
Is letting
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Yeah.
about that, right?
I think so. Yeah, because they've gotten a lot of information so far.
Yeah.
That's why I was feeling like is it only suspicion, or do we think maybe they know?
I still think
they must know a little more.
I still think they're in the dark. I think
Yeah.
you gotta stretch this out, because if too many people know about zombies in the show or even suspicious,
That's true.
Maybe the next episode there's some suspicions, but I really think that Babs has heard that from Lou and was like, oh, okay, he's just trying to tell a crazy story about this informant.
Because I thought he heard it from Lou and then was maybe like, oh really? Like confirming it on his end. He's like,
maybe
on my
this
end.
is actually real.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's thinking, well, I've already had like run-ins with human brains and all these crazy murders and the chaos killer and like all of this, whatever, all of his points that he's, putting together. And having Lou say that, I feel like might have just made him sort of confirm it in his mind, like, oh, well, someone else is saying it too, so maybe there's some validity to that.
Maybe. It could be a
Maybe.
little teasing there.
Maybe.
I could see that. So how dirty do we think is Lou just a tough cop? I mean, I don't think so. Like, are we looking at something utopian based?
Yes.
With
Yeah.
Lou, is he?
Yes.
He's busting so many dealers.
Yeah.
So he could be a giant person, like
He might be doing it all.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
Might
he
be
works
the
for Mr. Boss. I think he's the top man.
king.
Yeah. You think he works for Boss?
Yeah, I think he's like the top man under Boss. Like maybe even Boss
Yes.
is like partner in it all. And I think that he does know where Drake is, and I think that's why her telling him about Drake being last seen with Mr. Boss, he didn't seem very interested in
I
it.
was just gonna say that because he
Yeah.
did bring that up. Like Drake is okay. Like
Yeah.
you'll find him. He'll come back.
Yeah.
Did anyone
good
think that he
point.
was gonna hit on Liv when he showed up? It was a very
No.
sensual setting. I thought he was. It was lit well, and I thought they were gonna drink wine and talk about Seattle zombies and
lit
They were gonna have
Nirvana.
they were gonna have a D&M.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
D&M and
I thought it was interesting. She told him a lot of
Yeah,
information
what?
though.
Honest, it was
Yeah.
it's her old Liv brain.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Bailey brain.
Exactly.
So,
And how did he know where she lived?
well, he's a cop.
He's like top.
So
And
cops
she works at-
just know where
Well,
you
she
live.
works at the morgue. Like they work in the same building.
But
Not
she-
saying.
I I love that. So cops just know where you live. Well, yeah, they got a system.
What is
There
their
is a
system? How do they know?
Well,
They
there's a
just
computer.
know.
There's a computer.
What does the computer have?
Lots of
Your
apps.
like
License.
license information and all of that stuff. You
Social.
run through
Yeah,
the
but if
system
you're renting
anyway.
someplace
food,
and that's not
favorite
on your
color.
license,
But still, they should have access to your renters agreements and all that. They should
I
have.
don't know.
Shouldn't they?
If
I don't
anyone
think
knows
so.
any cops out there, any real cops,
Let me know
Well,
how
I
this
know-
But like
works.
detective cops, right? They should have that. He's a detective.
I
Right?
mean,
detective
Also,
cops.
if they know your vehicle and they can see the VIN, they can find out literally everything.
We were on
But
this
what?
one.
Speaking of
I
VIN
don't,
numbers,
I don't know.
how hard is it to
I don't know
remember
about
that,
this
Sorry.
But like,
because I feel like.
Oh
I
my
feel
gosh.
like if you're a poverty-ridden renter in this world,
Yeah.
That's a pretty good word or group of words.
it set the scene. You
Yeah.
see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So
I
you don't have
I
a
don't
car
think
or
so.
a VIN.
I know it's just blowing away.
I hope so much that you are correct because I would
Yeah.
love to know that I am off the grid for the cops.
I mean, I just feel like it wouldn't be that simple for like this guy to be like, Liv Moore, where is she renting? Like, because I'm sure she doesn't own that spot with Peyton. She has a roommate.
No way,
and
right?
No.
I'm just saying, I'm talking like some grown-up things right now. Are we renting or are we buying? What is the property
I
value?
heard it's a bear market. You gotta buy.
Oh my god, did she find it on Craigslist?
What were her closing costs? I need to know.
Yeah. So I think it's just the tip of the iceberg with Chex Mix, right?
Yes.
Chex Mix.
Yeah.
Good job there. Good job.
It's just the tip of the iceberg with Chex Mix. I think with all the flashbacks, him, strong arming all these college kids and throwing his weight around, saying that he'll, ruin their lives and stuff. I think it goes deeper. So if she were to eat more people's brains throughout the city, they would probably have a lot of interactions with Chex Mix.
Yeah. It was Chex Mix.
That makes sense.
Nobody knows what we're talking about right now.
I love it. They're good to know.
Benedetto, Benedetto equals Chex Mix.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds
mark it.
like Gardetto.
Yeah.
So, which is there a criteria through with all of the
For the
detectives?
Chex Mix?
But for everybody to have a name that begins
Qualifies.
with B,
Yes. And that's what I'm saying.
or last name, whatever.
Benedetto, Babineau,
Bozzy.
Bailey.
Bailey,
blah,
Brony,
blah, blah, blah.
Blaine.
Like, yeah, it's a lot of that.
Yeah, we got it.
Liv,
Bliv,
all of them.
Bliv, and
What was
Blaine,
the rat's name
and
again?
Blager.
New Hope,
No.
Boo Hope, Bobby, Biv, all of them.
Bell Biv DeVoe.
Bell, Bib, DeVoe. Is it DeVoe? DeVoe.
DeVoe.
Yeah, that's
Oh
right.
my gosh.
Bell Biv DeVoe.
Oh my God, let's get this train
Okay.
back on
I
track.
think we've overstayed our welcome.
We already talked about the tease next week. He's in jail. Will he get a cook to put brains in his food? Will there be brain juice dripping from the ceiling? Will there be cookies
Will
delivered
Liv freeze
from
dry it and
D-Murph?
crackle it into dust
Yeah.
and blow it into the field while he's working out?
Oh my God, new way to do it. Oh my God. Liv,
Brains.
You know what? They need to do like a snorting episode where she snort. They like
Yeah, and the
somehow
Major's just like-
how can you make a really old brain, like a rotting brain that just turns to dust, and she snorts it.
Well, they can dehydrate
And then
it.
what?
Freeze dry it.
Yeah, this needs to
Crumble
happen.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that needs to happen.
That's the new recipe
Yeah.
for
Or
next
if you need
week.
a quick injection, like you could liquefy it and be like, I need to get the brain effects quickly. Well, don't eat your damn Thai food.
Yeah.
Just,
Vein
just
it.
inject it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, inject it.
Yeah, they can dehydrate and crumble it up and actually put it into pill form.
Yes, they can.
Oh.
You know a lot.
They put it into
about
capsules.
this.
Well, I just saw that. You don't want to know. It's gross.
We might.
Yeah.
It deals
We
with
might.
placenta. Nobody wants to know.
And who wants to see more zombie fights?
Hannah,
by
that's
the
a
way?
part of life. We have a right to learn about placenta.
We do.
We really do.
It's a zombie show.
I heard that's
for
the name of
God's
the
sake.
next week's episode. That's actually not. The 2-hour extravaganza next week. It's gonna be great. We're gonna camp out here
I can't
at
even
the
wait.
AfterBuzz Studios. We're gonna watch. We're gonna communicate with everyone, and maybe they'll let us go a little long to talk about 2 episodes next week. We'll talk to our esteemed producer. We call him Captain Steve.
Yeah.
Captain Steve.
Captain Steve.
He's telling us to go away.
Yeah, I know. Let's put a bow
like,
on this
hurry up, people.
episode. Where can everyone find you all?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at dmurph65.
You all can find me on Instagram and Twitter at the Hotshot Dude.
And I'm Blake V. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media.
And I'm Jared Gilkerson. That's at Gilkerson Radio on Twitter. I'm also doing a boxing after show this Sunday. I'm promoting that. And the Tomorrow Show, Mondays and
He's
Thursdays.
everywhere, this guy.
Yeah.
He's
So-
doing big
Follow
things.
him.
I'm everywhere.
Amazing.
Yeah. And until next week, Chex Mix.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
DM you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.